Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Thursday, March 30. I am Abigail Smythe. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and your friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. The National Water Commission, NWC, has received a shipment of pipes valued at $1.3 billion. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation with responsibility for water, Minister Matthew Samuda, received the pipes on the NWC's behalf.
Ultimately, potable water provision and sanitation, certainly with sewage, is the critical base. It is the critical pillar of our future development. It should be well known, I don't think there's anybody in Jamaica who is unaware that we are in a severe drought.
The large ductile iron pipes were procured and delivered by contractor Derek A. Gibson Limited and range from 100 millimeter or 4 inches to 600 millimeters or 24 inches in diameter. The pipes will be used on at least 9 project locations island-wide. Minister Samuda says with the delivery of this shipment of pipes, they are that much closer to the implementation of improvement projects that will directly benefit thousands of Jamaicans in both urban and rural communities. The areas to receive the pipes include Mandeville, Manchester, Hopewell, St. Elizabeth, Brownstown, St. Anne, Whitehall, St. Thomas, Stanton Terrace, Kingston, Ferry, St. Andrew, and Mammy Bay, St. Anne. Commuters had difficulty accessing public transportation Thursday morning as drivers of the state-owned bus company, Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUCC, remain off the job. The drivers took industrial action on Wednesday to express their dissatisfaction with the new compensation system. One driver on social media expressed the feeling on behalf of his colleagues. He said it appears the drivers have lost the rebel in them and they do have a voice. In a statement, the JUCC says its operations are still being impacted by the strike action. As a result, teams from the JUCC Finance Department are meeting with drivers to resolve the issue. The JUCC continues to urge commuters to make alternative arrangements for transportation until normality is restored. And operators of public passenger vehicles say they will be seeking a 110% increase in fares. President of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, Edgerton Newman, says a special committee was established to determine the fare needed for the sector to survive. Mr. Newman says the request is the bare minimum for operators to be able to cover their base and eke out an acceptable living. He says the country should be divided into regions when fare increases are considered. He highlights an example. He says a commuter working between Mandeville and Spalding in Manchester may currently be paying $250 for fare. If taxi operators are given a 110% increase, the commuter will pay $525. He points out that operators in the Kingston area would not be able to charge those same fares. He is suggesting a stage fare system with one fare for the Kingston metropolitan region and one fare for rural areas. A performance audit by the Auditor General of the Ministry of Health and Wellness has revealed that the National Health Fund committed $80 million to finance a pilot electronic patient administration system, EPass, but the planned 2017-2018 introduction of the system did not materialize. It was announced at the time that EPass would provide universal access to the medical records of a patient at any public health facility across the island. It was intended to improve the quality, timeliness, and completeness of health reports. However, the Auditor General's report showed that after spending $30 million on EPass, the ministry shifted its focus to the implementation of the Information System for Health Plan of Action 2017 to 2021, which contains 25 strategic lines of actions, of which only 8 have been completed. The audit further revealed that 12 of these lines of action were in progress, while the remaining 5 are yet to begin. The performance audit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness revealed several weaknesses in the delivery of health services, including a low doctor and nurse to patient ratio and low hospital bed capacity ratios. The report was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. Purcell, longtime councillor for the Yorktown Division of the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, has tendered his resignation. Mr. Purcell resigned from his post as chairman of the Yorktown Divisional Executive and as a member of the People's National Party. This comes after several calls for him to step down after he was featured in a leaked explicit video. His resignation followed meetings of the People's National Party constituency officers held over the weekend and has been accepted by the party's Constitutional Committee. The St. Elizabeth Police took 7 men into custody on a number of charges following targeted operations in the Oxford community on Wednesday. Drugs, ammunition, and motorcycles were also seized. Reports are that between 4 and 9 a.m., a team from the St. Elizabeth Police and Area 3 headquarters, supported by members of the Jamaica Defence Force, carried out cordon and search operations in the Oxford area. The police were in search of wanted men, prohibited weapons, dangerous drugs, stolen items, and lottery scamming devices. A number of homes were specifically targeted. In the first house searched, 2 live 9mm rounds of ammunition were found. 4 men who occupied the house at the time of the search were arrested. Search of a second house turned up gaming machines which the occupier could not account for. The gaming items were seized and the man arrested. During a search of a third property, 2 fishing guns and 1 cash machine were seized. 1 man was arrested. At the 4th premises searched, approximately 120 pounds of ganja was found in an abandoned building. No one was arrested in connection with this find. 3 motorcycles were also seized during the operation for breaches of the Road Traffic Act, and 1 man taken into custody. The police are urging members of the public to continue to partner with the police as they work relentlessly to disrupt gang activities and rid the parish of criminality. A police constable is in custody after he was allegedly held with contraband at the Portmore Police Station lockup in St. Catherine on Wednesday. Constable Joel Fagan has been charged with breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act and unprofessional conduct. Reports are that Constable Fagan was posted on cell guard duties but was missing from his post around 11:45 a.m. The cell supervisor who went in search of Fagan reportedly saw the constable entering the guard room from the direction of the parking lot carrying a drawstring bag and a bottle of water. The constable was reportedly confronted by the custody officer at the station and the bag searched in Fagan's presence. The drawstring bag reportedly contained a parcel wrapped in transparent plastic tape with 1 box of Craven A small quantity of tobacco, a small quantity of vegetable matter resembling ganja, 1 orange-colored lighter, 1 LTE cell phone, 1 pack of playing cards, 2 packs of rolling paper, 2 dozen white tablets, and 3 Darko razor blades. The items were seized and handed over to the St. Catherine Scenes of Crime Unit and Fagan placed in custody. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, says there has been a significant increase in the number of arrests made and charges laid for gun crimes since the start of the year. Arrests and charges under the breaches of the Firearms Act increased by 18%. Persons have been charged in 102 cases of murders and 86 cases of shooting since the start of the year. There has been a 30% increase in arrests and charges under the offensive weapon category, which concerns using dangerous weapons to cause injury. Charges have been laid in 81 cases of rape, 64 robberies, and 71 break-ins. The police say overall, for the first 85 days this year, arrests and charges fell by 8% compared to the corresponding period last year. In business news, the Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, has held its key interest rate steady at 7% for a third time. Its last increase was in November when the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, had tacked on 50 basis points to the overnight rate that the central bank applied to funds deposited at the BOJ by banking institutions. The central bank had previously signaled restraint on future interest rate hikes in February when it first opted to keep the rate unchanged after a year of increases. Instead, it announced a clampdown on bank cash through increases in the cash reserve ratio, which are due to effect on April 1. In a release, the MPC said the decision to hold the policy interest rate at 7% was in a bid to maintain tight Jamaican dollar liquidity and to continue fostering relative stability in the foreign exchange market. It also made reference to the impending adjustment to the cash reserve policy. And on the foreign exchange market, the Canadian dollar's buying rate is $109.98, while the selling rate is $114.14. The euro's buying rate is $157.52, selling rate $166.66. Buying rate for the Great Britain pound is $180.18 and selling rate $187.55. The US dollar's buying rate is $150.53, while the selling rate is $151.88. In the region, the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority has welcomed the start of a new direct flight connecting Antigua and Barbuda to the ABC Islands in the Dutch West Indies. International carrier British Airways launched the new route service between Antigua and Aruba on Sunday, March 26, as the airline continues to enhance interregional connectivity within the Caribbean. The additional flight will provide ample opportunities for the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority to grow arrivals from the wider Caribbean region. The new service will see the 2-hour flight take place twice weekly between Antigua and Aruba on Sundays and Thursdays. Visitors can take advantage of the great introductory round-trip airfare with fares starting as low as $448. And on the international scene, 9 people were killed in a crash involving 2 Army Blackhawk helicopters conducting a nighttime training exercise in Trigg County, Kentucky, Wednesday night. A deputy commander said the 2 HH-60 Blackhawk helicopters, part of the 101st Airborne Division, landed in a field near a residential area with no injuries on the ground. One helicopter had 5 people aboard and the other had 4. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said the state would do everything they can to support the families of those killed. Last month, 2 Tennessee National Guard pilots were killed when their Black Hawk helicopter crashed along an Alabama highway during a training exercise. The Black Hawk helicopter is a critical workhorse for the U.S. Army, providing key security, transport, medical evacuations, search and rescue, and other missions. It was a frequent sight in the skies over Iraq and Afghanistan during the wars, conducting combat missions, and is also used by the Army's 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. Black Hawks were also often used to ferry visiting senior leaders to headquarters locations in the Iraq and Afghanistan war zones. A grand jury in Manhattan, New York, has voted to indict the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. It's the first time in American history that a current or former president has faced criminal charges. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office has been investigating the former president in connection with his alleged role in a hush money payment scheme and cover-up involving an adult film star, Stormy Daniels, that dates to the 2016 presidential election. It is unclear precisely when the grand jury vote to criminally charge Trump was taken. After his arrest is processed, the former president is likely to be released on his own recognizance because the indictment likely contains only nonviolent felony charges. He will be fingerprinted, photographed, and may even be handcuffed. Lawyers for Mr. Trump, who is running for president a third time, have said he will surrender to face the charges and fly from his Florida estate to New York for the arraignment. And in sports, Kingston College's star sprinter Bawaji and Krumi ran a record-breaking 9.99 seconds to win the Class 1 Boys 100 meters at the 2023 Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships inside the National Stadium in St. Andrew Wednesday night. And Krumi became the first schoolboy in Jamaican track and field history and the third junior athlete worldwide to complete the event in under 10 seconds. And Hydel High School's Alana Reid in the Class 1 Girls 100 meters smashed a 2-decade-old record. Reid delivered on her promise of a special performance, clocking 10.92 seconds to win the Class 1 title, erasing Veronica Campbell-Brown's 20-odd-year-old mark of 11.13 set in 2001. And that's it for your news roundup for today. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment, and share the video with your family and your friends. I am Abigail Smythe. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!